morning, I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And a nor'easter is dumping tons of snow across the coastal Atlantic states. Since overnight, there's a travel ban now in New York City. No service on rail lines in several states, and there are hundreds of thousands of people without power today.
7 states declaring a state of emergency.
Hopefully everybody stays home and doesn't come out in this. It's not safe.
More than 40 million people under a blizzard warning, including New Jersey, which hasn't seen a statewide warning of this magnitude in 30 years. Tens of thousands of customers in the state were without power overnight.
That's ABC's Lionel Moise. There are few details about the armed man killed when he showed up at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida on Sunday. ABC's Pierre Thomas says the man is a 21-year-old named Austin Tucker.
Well, we know he's 21 years old from North Carolina. That's a roughly 10-hour drive. Authorities suspect that he perhaps purchased the weapon sometime recently on the way down to Florida. His family described him as a person who was quiet. Some members of the family telling our own station, WTVD, down in North Carolina, that the family is generally very supportive of President Trump.
But clearly, this young man was not. The sheriff's office says Austin Tucker showed up with a shotgun and a can of gasoline. And when ordered to drop it, the sheriff says he put down the can of gasoline but picked up the shotgun in a shooting stance. That's when he was killed by Secret Service. Vanderbilt University investigating one of its professors for an anti-Semitic teaching. Tekin Karadeg is from Turkey, but he's been in the U.S. for more than a decade. Now he teaches math at Vanderbilt, and a recent lesson asked students to measure how much the land is decreasing in the area he called the Palestine state because of the occupation by Israel. Vanderbilt says the content has been removed and he is under investigation. That story comes amid the announcement that Vanderbilt University Medical Center is ending sex change surgeries for adults. The hospital's statement blames operational limitations and a lack of surgical coverage. They'll continue, they say, to offer care, just not the surgeries. Vanderbilt stopped doing sex change surgeries on minor children in 2022 after being threatened by a new state law. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Stocks are trading sharply lower this morning. The Dow Jones Industrial's down 409 points. That's the latest news. We've got traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Good morning. It is 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, you get those at betterwater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere today. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us as well. Super Talk TV is up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. Share the show with your friends. We got a lot to get to today. There's a cartel war going on in Mexico. We also have tariff reaction and a blizzard. There's a blizzard on the East Coast. Did you see the blizzard?
Saw the blizzard.
There's a big blizzard.
Just a little bit.
They've gotten like 15 inches as of 7 a.m.
Goodness gracious. I'm glad it's not here.
I'm just watching it right now, and they're saying that it's stationary. So it's kind of staying in place, and it's just dumping more and more and more snow.
Man.
Yeah.
Perfect. We had some no-worry flurries on my way in.
Yeah, so I
A
heard.
little majestic, a little beautiful. And then I just, started being a man and stopped thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, it's not
okay.
not important.
Put your
not
softer
important.
side out, Chris.
I will. Did you see how good Mason looked today, Joan?
Yeah.
Mason walks in. I said, whoa.
What's going on, Mason?
Mason's evil twin is here because he's got a goatee now.
Oh,
It's-
look at that.
Listen, so real story.
Why is Mason rocking a goatee? Also, we're working on fixing the computer. Until then, we don't have the producer
Camera's
camera
down.
up. So I walked in and took a picture of Mason. He was very surprised
Yeah,
what
I was working
doing
on getting the show started.
because I wanted you guys to see Mason with a goatee.
It kind
What
of
a
takes away the
flattering
baby
picture.
face, you know?
It-
Because
he-
Mason has a baby face.
Yeah.
He looks like a Gen Z Bob Ross, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
He does. He looks like he's going to paint a happy little tree today. You plan on?
I do not agree. I do not concur.
Do you plan
Absolutely
on
not.
painting any happy little trees later this afternoon, Mason?
I don't know, but I'll try and make your show a work of art.
All
How
right,
about that?
perfect. All right.
Nice.
Mason is Gen Z Bob Ross. I like it.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think,
see how it goes.
I think that you need to keep it.
Yeah, I told myself I would give myself today. I shaved it last night, trying to attempt to trim up a beard, and I don't know how to trim up, shape facial hair at all. So I messed up on my left side. I was like, oh, I'll correct it on my right. Oh, well, okay, now I need to fix it on the left. And then I went too far and was like, we're going for a goatee today. Let's see what happens.
It's happened to the best of us. Don't worry. Yeah, you look.
I like it.
It looks like Gen Z Bob Ross mixed with like a little bit of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I like it. It's a weird hybrid.
I feel like it's Chris Farley imitating Bob Ross.
Okay.
I'm without the humor.
All
Without the
right.
humor.
All right. You guys have a good weekend. Everybody have a good weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I tell you what, we did baseball all
Oh,
weekend
yeah?
long. We had a little scrimmage on Friday night.
Nice.
And I completely forgot that it was February because we were outside. It was so nice on Friday.
Dude,
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what is
yeah.
up with this weather here where it's freezing again? Friday was like beautiful. So we got to the baseball field in Smyrna and we were like wearing shorts.
Yeah, it
And we're
felt
like-
awesome.
And then the sun went down. We're like, what did we do? Why did we do this?
Where's my first and second coat?
Yeah, why didn't we remember it was February? And then we had baseball tryouts over the weekend. The boys did great. I mean, I'm big excited for baseball season.
Let's go.
And then we chilled. We had some church over the weekend and all that stuff. You have fun? What'd you do? Other than the beard.
Other than the beard mess up, I worked all day Saturday, which was the colder of the 2 days, but it was a little warm in the morning, so that was really nice. And then yesterday, I kind of chilled after going to church. It was a nice
you.
day off. I've not had a day off in like 3
You don't
weeks.
get many days off, Mason.
No, it feels weird after being so busy most of the time.
Yeah.
Coming in on a Sunday, going to church, and then be like, all right, what do I do with myself? Do I
Clean your room, young man.
yeah,
There you go.
That's on the docket today. But,
I did the
yesterday was
same.
good.
I did the same thing after church on Sunday. I was like, what do I do with the rest of my day? And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll just watch videos of Mexico burning.
Ooh.
That's
There are plenty of them.
really messed up, but that's how I spent my yesterday afternoon. Cartel violence exploding across Mexico. This is one of the biggest stories on the planet right now. The Cartel Jalisco New Generation Cartel, their leader, El Mencho, has been killed. He was killed by the Mexican military over the weekend, and it led to some chaos in Mexico, to say the least. Violence exploding over across more than 10 of Mexico's 32 states. Breitbart has confirmed, as well as the Mexican government confirming the death of this El Mencho. There were roadblocks, gunfire, burning vehicle attacks from the Pacific coast to the Texas border. The unrest actually forced airports to halt operations, highways to shut down, and U.S. officials to warn Americans to shelter in place as CJNG gunmen launched coordinated retaliatory strikes nationwide. Here's something that I just have a hard time wrapping my head around. I really do. Imagine being like the equivalent of a wage slave for the cartel, right? Your new boss, your boss has been murdered. And so obviously there's going to be some stuff that comes with that, just in and of itself. The cartel boss gets murdered. Okay, so is there going to be inner fighting? Is there going to be war with another cartel? Who's going to take over this territory? What happens next? It's a tumultuous time, right? It's the CEO has stepped down, so that's already baked into the cake. But then you have other leadership inside this cartel who tells you, the low-ranking official, the next game plan is for you to open fire inside airports and at citizens and at tourists. And is that going to make the situation any better, or is that going to make the situation worse? I would bet it would be the latter, and it's going to end with a bit of lead poisoning for these individuals, and the chaos is everywhere. We talked about this in the podcast over the weekend. You want to get us excited about a war, the American people. I think all of us can get behind supporting a war against these cartels. It seems like the Mexican officials are still in bed with them. It seems like the president can't do anything about it. And so if you want me to support a war, it's not across the ocean over in Iran. It's going to be right below our southern border in Mexico. That's a war I could get behind. I think a lot of Americans could get behind. As reported by Breitbart, Texas, El Mencho's death occurred during an enforcement operation conducted by Special Operations Group soldiers with the Mexican Army at 1:10 p.m. on Sunday. Mexico's Secretary of National Defense confirmed El Mencho's demise with the assistance of other military units, including the Mexican Air Force. Violence erupted shortly after rumors of El Mencho's death began to circulate early Sunday morning when cartel gunmen associated with the CJNG began constructing road blockades using semi-truck tractor trailers and civilian vehicles, some lit on fire to impede traffic along major roadways in 4 key states controlled by the cartel. It looked a lot like the leftist protests that we see here in America, albeit with a lot more firepower. The CJNG is one of several cartels in Mexico that have been designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the Trump administration. Gunmen set multiple vehicles alight and set fire to commercial buildings, bringing traffic in several Mexican cities to a standstill in the border of Tamaulipas, and violence soon spread to Guanajuato and Michoacan and Jalisco. So there's violence all over the country, and it's because this cartel leader has been killed. What are the next steps? Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum is being slammed for repeatedly refusing help from the Trump administration. President Trump has offered to let the U.S. military eradicate the cartels. Cartels are running rampant, terrorizing civilians, burning things down. U.S. citizens being urged to shelter in place. Again, we talked about violence erupting at the airports, but violence are also erupting at the resorts. This is just another reason why I would ask you, why on earth would you ever want to vacation in Mexico? There are so many other places that are safer and just as nice and great to be, where you don't have to worry about this kind of things. And I'm not surprised by this at all. Well, no, let me take a step back. I am actually surprised the Mexican military took this guy out. I'm not surprised in the resulting aftermath. President Trump has said on numerous occasions that the current president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, is not running Mexico. The cartels are running Mexico, and we have heard this over and over and over again, and we all understand what time it is.
Wasn't meant to be, and we're very friendly with her. She's a good woman, but the cartels are running Mexico. She's not running Mexico. The cartels are running Mexico. And we could be politically correct and be nice and say, oh, yes, she is. No, she's very, she's very frightened of the cartels. They're running Mexico. And I've asked her numerous times, would you like us to take out the cartels? No, Mr. President. No, please. So we have to do something because we lost. The real number is 300,000 people, in my opinion. You know, they like to say 100,000. 100,000 is a lot of people, but the real number is 300,000 people. And we lost it to drugs, and they come in through the southern border, mostly the southern border. Plenty come in through Canada, too, by the way.
That was President Trump in the immediate aftermath of the Maduro capture just a few weeks back. And he lays it out plain and simple. We've said to President Sheinbaum, we can come in and take care of the cartels. No, Mr. President, please. No. Okay. Would you like us to step in now? Is now a better time for you guys? As everything is being destroyed, as you're watching your tourism industry absolutely nosedive. Who's vacationing in Mexico? Is anybody going to go, ooh, the resort is all inclusive? Huh. That's nice. How's their security look? Actually, that's a bigger question. But the cartels aren't going away with U.S. involvement. Flashback to May of 2025. Tom Homan was giving an interview saying the exact same thing. Unless you're going to have the U.S. military out there, not a difference is going to be made. This was Tom Homan doing an interview with Sean Ryan. Again, this is back in May of 25.
But I don't think the cartels are going to go away without U.S. involvement. President Trump did it. ISIS. We show we're really good at the away game. I think when it comes to criminal cartels, we got to play the away game. Stop the poison before it gets here. Then, of course, on this side of the border, we got to address the drive, the need for drugs like that. We got to address that. We're customers. So, but do I think the criminal cartels are going to go away without our involvement? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. You know, fun fact, that drug cartel operator, the El Mencho guy, the president, the Kingpin, this billionaire, he was taken out by a Mexican military team that was trained by the U.S. Navy SEALs. So when Tom Homan says, you know, you're not going to be able to get rid of the cartels without U.S. involvement, I think you can even point to this operation that took out El Mencho and be like, yeah, you wouldn't have done that without U.S. involvement. Breitbart has the latest on that. The Mexican army team that tried to apprehend but ultimately killed the fearsome leader of the terrorist organization, El Mencho, received specialized training from U.S. Navy SEALs shortly before their operation. Breitbart, Texas was able to confirm with high-level members of the U.S. intelligence community that Navy SEAL instructors traveled to Mexico earlier this month for a series of trainings aimed at targeting and apprehending top-level cartel figures. Earlier this month, amid much controversy, Mexico's Senate voted to allow U.S. Special Forces operators to travel into the country to train their Mexican counterparts. Instructors from the U.S. Navy SEALs and other top-tier groups are scheduled to be in Mexico from mid-February to April. They first arrived on February 15th on a U.S. air transport with their own equipment and weapons for the training seminars. The sources consulted by Breitbart, Texas, revealed that as soon as a top-level Mexican Army team was turned over to the U.S. Navy SEAL instructors, they sequestered their phones and all communication devices to prevent any leaks of information, something that has been an ongoing issue in prior attempts to capture El Mencho and other cartel figures in recent years. And while details of the training and the operation remain classified, Breitbart, Texas was able to confirm that Mexican military forces working off U.S. and Mexican intelligence tracked down El Mencho in Jalisco, where they carried out a high-level operation and captured what they were aiming at capturing. They ended up killing the terrorist leader. During the operation, security forces of CJNG tried to fight off the military forces, leading to a fierce firefight. When Mexico's military forces killed 4 gunmen, injured 3 others who were airlifted to a hospital for emergency care but died en route. According to information provided by Breitbart, Texas, by Mexico's military, one of the individuals who died during the air transport was Oseguera Cervantes, more commonly known as El Mencho. Breitbart, Texas reported the deaths of the feared cartel boss and how it unleashed a wave of terror in Mexico as cartel gunmen in several Mexican states carjacked vehicles, set up blockades, and torched buildings. The widespread terror by the criminal organization reached such levels that the U.S. Department was forced to issue a travel warning to U.S. citizens about traveling in Mexico and abroad. Cartels going berserk in Mexico. Americans in harm's way currently. Our own Tim Burchett weighed in on what's happening in Mexico, and we'll bring you the comments from Congressman Burchett on the way. It's a crazy news day. A lot to get to. We'll talk a little bit more about this fight in Mexico. We'll also break down the latest on the SAVE Act. We got some updates on Iran. More leftist violence in America as well. A gunman shot and killed at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend. There's a lot to get to. Hang out with us. Join the show, 615-737-9986. You can also jump in the chat over on the YouTube page. Hit like and subscribe while you're there. It's 922. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Let me ask you something. How long have you been living with that pain? Back pain, neck pain, sciatica, slipped or herniated disc, spinal stenosis. Maybe you got numbness or weakness in your hands or feet, and you think it's just part of getting older. But listen, it doesn't have to be. And this is where the Wellness Institute of Nashville comes in. And this is why these guys have my seal of approval on a deal that could change your life. They're the first and only clinic in Tennessee with this new non-surgical spinal decompression technology. And for 2026, it is 47% off. Dr. Mitch is an innovator working on what could be the #1 machine in the world. They're offering robotic lasers, anti-gravity machines, cryotherapy, and hydrowave stem cell stimulation. During your consultation, you're going to get a full exam, x-rays if needed, and we want you to bring your MRI. Dr. Mitch will map out a real plan to end your pain. It starts with a simple phone call, 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009. The Wellness Institute of Nashville is waiting for your call, and they're always open online. Painisbad.com.
Up ahead, an overseas U.S. embassy has been evacuated. We'll tell you why. Also, DHS announces the arrest of an illegal alien here in Nashville. Those stories at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Ann. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, you get those at betterwater.com. We were talking about the situation in Mexico, and it does seem to be a bit tenuous. Is that the right way to describe it?
Sounds about right.
It's a bit tenuous.
Yep.
Tensions be high.
Tensions be high. People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do.
But it do.
It's just the truth. Tim Burchett is speaking out after the cartels have gone berserk in Mexico with Americans in harm's way, saying that him and Mike Lee are demanding passage of legislation letting privateers attack the cartels. Privateers. Would you sign up for that? I bet you there's some veterans in the listening audience that would sign up for that.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
Let's listen to our Congressman Tim Burchett on his legislation for privateers.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. This morning I was noticing that the cartels have been acting up like they do. They burn up a Costco down in Mexico, and they've taken over areas, possibly airports. I'm not sure about all that, but they've now, and Americans are down there, of course, and they're in harm's way. And what can be done? Well, I had a bill. It's still out there. Can't seem to get it moved anywhere, which is unfortunate. Myself and Senator Lee has it on the Senate side. It's called Letters of Marque, and it's actually provided for in the Constitution that the president can get privateers, and it's happened throughout history a few times. I believe they went after the Barbary pirates, which later became the United States Marine Corps, if I believe what happened there. And what it does is allows the president to hire privateers. And these would be, like I said before, they're not going to go down here to Roosters on North Shore or Toddy's Backdoor Tavern on Kingston Pike and sign people up. They're going to go get first-tier operators, former SEALs, former airborne rangers, folks like that, Marines, Marine Raiders, folks like that would that may be still active in some sort, more or less private contractors, and allow them to go after these cartels in other countries.
Would you be in favor of that? I know we got a lot of veterans in the audience. If the payday was good enough, are you signing up for that? 615-737-9986. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 9:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Non-essential personnel at the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon, ordered to be evacuated as tensions between the U.S. and Iran escalate. Talks between the U.S. and Iran are set to restart on Thursday over Iran's nuclear program. We get more from ABC's Ian Pennell.
President Trump has given Iran an ultimatum to agree to a nuclear deal within the next 2 weeks, and he's confirming he's considering a limited strike on Iran if it doesn't. But Iran making it clear it'll retaliate against U.S. troops and bases in the region.
Meantime, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is warning that Iran could be a week away from having material for a nuclear bomb. Many, however, believe that's been the case for months. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell's Winter Storm Response Commission holding its first meeting today. The members will eventually provide recommendations for improvements to winter storm reaction, but they won't be able to do that until August. Now, if you'd like to check out this meeting today live, Fox 17 is going to live stream the first meeting on Facebook starting at 10 o'clock this morning. And the Department of Homeland Security reporting an illegal immigrant from Mexico has been detained after a traffic stop in Nashville. His name is Juan Espindola Ramirez. He was pulled over, but he refused to get out of the car. Officers pulled him out anyway, but he continued to resist and tried to run away. Espindola Ramirez was arrested in 2018 and 2019 for driving without a license, but the charges were dismissed in a Davidson County court. He'll stay behind bars now, pending immigration proceedings. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. I'm beginning to think it might be time for a preemptive strike before baseball season. Every baseball season, we tell the boys, just take the cleats off in the garage. And you know what they do? They wait until they get onto the living room carpet to take the cleats off. Every time, without fail. And I used to lose my mind over it, but now we just call Zero Res because they can get anything out of the carpets. We've had salsa, we've had cheese sauce, we've had applesauce, we've had the dirt and the mud and the grime from the baseball fields, and every single time that Zero Res leaves, my carpets look cleaner than ever before. It's the Maha of carpet cleaning. Their exclusive ZR water, no soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue, which means the carpets look great and you don't have to worry about it when the kids are rolling around and be stressing about what's in the fibers. That's not a worry with Zero Res. And it's not just carpets. They'll do air ducts, tile, rugs, upholstery, the works, and they'll leave it looking better than ever before. If you need to get your carpets clean, do it the right way. Do it the Zero Res way. 615-535-9376. 615-535-9376 or book online, ZeroResNashville.com.
Really playing a big role in
It's 9:38, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So I got some news. I got some big news. We only have 9 tickets left for the Steak of the Union tomorrow night at Legend Steakhouse in Smyrna. Only 9.
Only 9.
That's it. Man. That's it. I mean, you can't even, that's not even numbers. Somebody's going alone now. You either need a group of 3 or you're eating by yourself.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. If you don't have anybody to go with, I'll sit with you.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat by yourself.
We'll make sure you have a buddy.
Dude, it's going to be wild. Tomorrow night, Legend Steakhouse. The State of the Union's already here. Doesn't that feel weird?
That's wild to think.
Doesn't that feel weird? So the president invited USA Hockey. So I guess they're not going to even probably respond to my invite to Legend Steakhouse tomorrow night. So, you know, I get it.
It's whatever.
It's whatever. I'm not going to take it personal.
Doesn't hurt my feelings at all.
No, I'm not hurt. No. I'm not hurt by it at all. But we're all going to be out there. Matt Murphy's doing his entire show out there live. I got a message from somebody on Instagram, one of our loyal YouTube chatters, and she said, "Am I allowed to go before 6?" So yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Of course you are. Matt's going to be out there starting at 3. The rest of us are going to roll in. I don't know. I would imagine around 5ish. Right?
That sounds about right.
That's usually what we do.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna awkwardly stare at Dan while he eats a steak, and then we're gonna watch the State of the Union with you guys. So there's a lot to do. 997WTN.com if you want to be one of those last 9 tickets. 997WTN.com.
We'll see you there.
In the meantime, I had asked a question. You know, Tim Burchett had said, "I got this legislation. It's lingering out there where the president could bring some privateers on board, and they could go fight the cartels."
You know what it makes me think of?
Pirates.
Makes me think of pirates.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, like you want to be Captain Jack Sparrow.
I'm just saying, if you throw sails on there, give me a cutlass or 2. We could have some fun.
Every privateer gets a parrot.
Sold.
Who says
Sold.
Who says no?
I'll be there.
So I asked the question to the audience because I know we have a lot of veterans in our audience, and I figured that would mean we would have a lot of volunteers to go to Mexico as privateers. And if you look at the text line, overwhelmed with yeses. Overwhelmed. If you had just texted me and said yes, let me now ask you this question.
Oh,
would you do the same thing for Iran? Dude, I got like 20 yeses in here.
Really?
Like 20 yeses on like, yep, I would go to Mexico as a privateer. Okay.
Yeah, Mexico, yeah.
You signing up to do that in Iran? Right? Isn't that
That's so, yeah.
5194 said, hell yes.
Hey, that's what we like. Honesty, give it to us.
I'll be honest. I don't think that the response is going to be as overwhelmingly positive as 5194's hell yes. I think that there'd be a lot more calculating going into that decision than it would be with Mexico.
Absolutely. One, less time on the boat.
5194 also said, do we get to keep the weapons? Just asking.
I mean, you're technically on call as a privateer, would be my guess. It's like, all right, we're going to Mexico now. Okay, cool. I've already got my gear. We're going.
You making the same travel arrangements if it's for Iran? 615-737-9986. I just think that there's a lot more appetite to support a war against the cartels than there is to support a war against Iran. Maybe I'm wrong, and I would love for you to call in or text in. I do know this, though. We're going to have more negotiations in Geneva on Thursday with the Iranians. I don't really know what we're negotiating for. No more missiles, no more ICBMs, complete stop and halt of all nuclear programs. I do know, though, that Iran's supreme leader has activated wartime secession planning. He's a little nervous, I think you could say. He's a little nervous. And who wouldn't be in his position? You just saw what the United States did to Maduro. They got in, they got out. Why wouldn't you be nervous? He is. And the secession planning is in case he gets axed, if you will. You know? The ack. It's trouble.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Well, I'm just letting, everybody knows what that means.
Yeah.
That last sound you make. He's planning for that. He's looking out for the assassinations. He understands that regime change is a goal, at the very least, of Israel, if not the United States of America. So he has the secession planning in line. Breitbart has the story. Empowering a hardline loyalist to oversee national security operations and ordering layered contingency measures to safeguard the regime amid fears of U.S. military strikes and assassination attempts. A Sunday report in the New York Times citing senior Iranian officials and members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps detailed that Ali Larijani, a former Guards commander and current head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, has effectively taken control of national security operations as tensions with Washington intensify. Nobody really knows what's happening in Iran. And I think the important thing to understand is that when this information is coming out, everybody knows that everybody's going to see it. So is this something that's absolutely happening in Iran, or is this the Iranian regime putting this out into Western media so that way they can signal, yeah, you might get rid of the Ayatollah, but you're not going to get rid of us? The same can be true about the United States. I mean, 100%. If something is coming out in the media, then we know that the Iranians are going to read it. And is it true? Or is it posturing for negotiations? I mean, these are questions that we have, and nobody really knows the answer. Breitbart continues, Khamenei has reportedly directed aides to create multiple layers of secession for key military and government posts and to prepare for scenarios in which senior leaders, including the supreme leader himself, are killed. The planning includes delegating emergency powers and establishing backup chains of command to ensure that the Islamic Republic's survival during war. The report states that Iran is operating under the assumption that U.S. strikes are both unavoidable and imminent, even as nuclear negotiations continued. Tehran has positioned ballistic missile launchers near Iraq and along the Persian Gulf, conducted missile tests and staged naval drills in the Strait of Hormuz. According to the Times, the regime is also preparing to deploy internal security forces and militias to major cities to prevent unrest in the event of the conflict, underscoring that Iran's leadership is bracing not only for confrontation abroad, but instability at home. The matter comes as U.S. military plans for potential strikes on Iran have entered what officials have described as the advanced phase, with options reportedly expanding beyond nuclear and missile infrastructure to include targeted decapitation strikes against senior regime figures, and with President Trump said to be able to make a strike at any moment. This is what we're hearing. And again, I would just say, when it's coming out in the media that the United States is in advanced phases of planning, this could also be posturing for negotiations. We don't know. But they are saying that advanced potential strikes on Iran has entered what officials describe as an advanced phase. Reuters reported Friday that U.S. strike decisions have grown increasingly granular, including options targeting specific Iranian leaders as part of a scalable campaign. In a separate Friday dispatch, the outlet added that officials across Israel and the Gulf now view the gaps between Washington and Tehran as effectively unbridgeable, with preparations accelerating for the possibility that talks collapse into open conflict. Axios reported that the Pentagon has presented Trump with multiple military scenarios, including options that would target the Supreme Leader, Khamenei, his son, who is widely viewed as a potential successor, and one U.S. official told the outlet that the president could strike at any moment. The Wall Street Journal reported the administration has examined a limited opening strike designed to pressure Tehran while preserving rapid escalation pathways that should Iran refuse U.S. demands. Trump sharpened the warning on Friday.
The people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very, very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time. They were going to hang 800 2 weeks ago, hang, some by crane. They lift them up with a tall crane, and they play them around the square. They were going to hang 837 people. And I gave them the word, if you hang one person, even one person, that you're going to be hit right then and there. I wasn't waiting 2 weeks and negotiating. and they gave up the hanging. They didn't hang 837. Supposedly, they didn't hang anybody. But no, I feel very badly for the people of Iran. They've lived in hell. Please.
He's not wrong. I mean, let's be honest. I just think that the question becomes: do you want to waste U.S. treasure, and do we want to put our soldiers in the line of fire over regime change in Iran? He issued a sharp warning on Friday. Iran better negotiate a fair deal, and he said that if no agreement is reached, really bad things are going to happen. This is what we're getting from the White House.
Today on Iran, bad things will happen if Iran doesn't make
really bad things.
What will that?
I'm not going to talk to you about that.
What is the goal if there is a U.S. military
Well, we're
strike?
going to make a deal, or we're going to get a deal one way or the other.
But with a military strike, is it to wipe out their nuclear program?
I'm not going to talk to you about that, but we're either going to get a deal or it's going to be unfortunate for them.
And you said today 10 days. Have you given them a deadline firm to make a deal?
I would think that would be enough time, 10, 15 days, pretty much maximum.
10, 15 days maximum. There are talks that are going to happen in Geneva on Thursday. Will we make it to Thursday? I mean, these are the questions that people ask. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has acknowledged that the sides remain very, very far apart. According to Reuters, during this week's indirect Geneva talks, when Omani mediators delivered a written U.S. proposal that included missile-related provisions, the Iran Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi refused to open the envelope and handed it back. He said on Friday, Iran expects to finalize a written counterproposal within 2 to 3 days. Washington's position has remained consistent. U.S. Ambassador Mike Waltz reiterated that the United States expects zero enrichment, strict missile constraints, and an end to proxy warfare. The military posture makes clear Washington is preparing for either outcome. And as Breitbart reported last Wednesday, the United States has assembled the largest concentration of air power in the Middle East since the 2003 Iraqi invasion. Where do we end up from here? Your guess is as good as mine. Pray for peace, prepare for war. It seems like that's kind of the current operational standpoint of the United States government. I think they're maybe leaning a little bit more towards preparing for war. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. It's 9:51. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Coming up, President Trump signs a proclamation at the White House honoring so-called angel families. And there's a body in the crawl space. An investigation is underway in Jackson today. Those stories and more coming up at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
In the crawl space?
In the crawl space. Mm-hmm.
Imagine the smell.
I think that's what led police to that spot, actually.
Looking forward to the headlines
yeah.
with Joan Jones. They're sure to not stink. Is that cheesy? It felt like I was channeling Dan.
Well done, Chris.
Like I knew I shouldn't say it. And then I said it.
You couldn't avoid it.
Couldn't help it.
You want to go take a shower now?
At least get another coffee from Wally's Bean Machine. Maybe that's what I need more than anything else.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, you can join Dan in person along with myself, Mandis, Benson. The entire Super Talk crew is going to be out. Did I say Mandis again? I said Mandis twice. Also Murphy. It's the Stake of the Union featuring Dan Mandis, Chris Hand, Chad Benson, and also Matt Murphy.
I thought you were going to intentionally say Mandis again.
We're going to be out there tomorrow night. Legend Steakhouse in Smyrna. Single-digit tickets available. It's an exclusive event. We only had 100 tickets to start with. We are at less than 10 now. I would imagine it's less than 9 as well because we did a good job selling it in the last hour. If you wanted to get your tickets to the Stake of the Union, 997WTN.com. You got to act fast. Today's probably going to be your last day to do it. Just a heads up. If you've been putting it off, you've been kicking that can down the road, you will be we'll make you wait outside if you don't have a ticket. And it's cold.
It's a chilly one tomorrow.
Way too cold. It's way too cold. So get your tickets now. Is this going to actually start snowing here soon?
Saying 10 o'clock.
Here's the thing. The Apple weather is telling me that it's going to start snowing here any minute.
You and I are big Apple weather guys.
But the Apple weather also told me it was going to snow 30 inches during that ice storm, and it completely let me down. So I don't know. I have trust issues now.
The one time I've been glad that Apple weather was wrong was during that big snow.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was looking for it. We didn't get a sled. We didn't get a sled. So no worry flurries on the way, and we'll keep you updated on that. Plus, we'll bring you some of that audio on the way from President Trump inside the White House, making those announcements that Joan was talking about. But speaking of the snow, it has snowed 15 inches in New York as of 7 a.m. And if you want to shovel snow in New York, you can actually make a good chunk of change. Here's the issue. You ready for this? You actually need more paperwork to shovel snow in New York than you do to vote in New York.
Wait a second. How does that work?
Well, you can get registered to shovel snow, emergency snow, and you can get paid for it, but you got to bring 2 forms of ID to get signed up and your Social Security card.
Interesting.
We're utilizing 33 DSNY vans and 2 DSNY buses to transport shovelers where they're needed faster. And for those who want to do more to help your neighbors and earn some extra cash, you too can become an emergency snow shoveler. Just show up at your local sanitation garage between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow with your paperwork, which is accessible online at nyc.gov/snow.
The only thing you left out was that to get paid, you need that 2 forms of ID. Democrats are demanding more ID for shoveling snow than they are for voting.
You got to have identification for the white powder.
Is that so? We're going to talk about this more on the other side. Plus, some General SAVE Act updates and more on the way. It's 10 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. President Trump just this morning signing a proclamation declaring February 22nd National Angel Family Day, honoring those who have lost loved ones to illegal aliens.
On February 22nd, 2 years ago, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Hope Riley went out for a run on a college campus in Georgia. Laken was viciously attacked, brutally beaten and murdered by an illegal alien gang member who the last administration heartlessly released into our country. No problems. Let them in.
That ceremony continues with the families at the White House at this hour. A federal judge granting President Trump's request to permanently block the release of a second volume of Special Counsel Jack Smith's report on the president's handling of classified materials after his first term in office. U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon ruling that releasing that report would be a manifest injustice. She says Smith acted without lawful authority to obtain an indictment. A murder investigation is underway in Jackson, Madison County after police discovered a body in the crawl space of a home on Saturday.
Officers responded to a house on Raintree Cove Saturday after getting a tip from the family of a missing woman. There, they found a body tucked away in a crawl space. The family identified the victim as a 31-year-old who had been missing since last Monday.
That's Channel 4's Lydia Fielder there. The remains have been taken to Nashville for an autopsy to confirm the identity and the cause of death. And New Age guru Deepak Chopra is the latest big name to get zapped by the content in the Epstein files. In text and email messages, Chopra spoke of visiting Epstein at his New York City townhouse, at his South Florida home, and at his Paris apartment. On at least two occasions, Chopra, who has been married for decades, invited Epstein to bring his, quote, girls on trips. In one exchange in 2017, Chopra wrote to Epstein, universe is human construct. Cute girls are aware when they make noises. That is the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen to it anywhere. iHeart, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us on Super Talk TV, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. YouTube and Rumble are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Help us grow that digital footprint of the radio station. Totally free to do so. Our Steak of the Union event happening tomorrow night. Legend Steakhouse in Smyrna. Now, I just got a text from one of our listeners that just bought another ticket. So if we're doing current math and nobody else has bought tickets, that leaves us at what, 7 left? Seven tickets left.
Let's go.
997WTN.com to grab your tickets. Excuse me as I choke.
You're good.
997WTN.com.
Can we sell out on the Chris Ann Show?
I think so.
I think so.
I'll sell out all the time. Happily.
Wait.
I got kids to feed.
Fair.
Did you?
Fair.
You meant the event.
Yeah, I meant the event.
My bad. Larry in Smyrna wants to talk about Iran. What's up, Larry? How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning. Doing great. Appreciate your show.
Hey, thanks, man. Your thoughts on Iran?
Well, I was there in '79. I was a missile technician. I think we need to go back and finish what happened years ago. We had a president.
Hold on.
Great Sunday school teacher.
One second. You were there in '79. You said?
Yes, sir.
What did it look like on the ground when you were there in the late '70s?
I was in the ocean.
Got you.
When they took over our embassy, we were floating on their coast within hours. We made our presence known.
Okay. So now, fast forward, 50 plus years, you're looking at the situation and you think that it's time to go in and just end it once and for all.
Yeah, I think we need to send like about 1,000 missiles, take out the IRG, no warning, get rid of all their bases, and allow the people of that land to fend for themselves. I mean, 35,000 people were gunned down in cold-blooded murder. Those are not their people. That's why they don't have a problem killing them.
So,
and I think that
what happens after that? Say you go in, you do take out the power structure, you take out the Ayatollah, you create a vacuum. What's the next thing that happens then?
Well, now they have an even odds. You go ahead and see who comes out. You tell Iraq and anybody else, you get involved in this, you're going to get double of what happened to them. And I'm pretty sure that, they'll just let them sort it out.
What happens if we get somebody worse than the Ayatollah?
I don't think you can. Those are the Shiites.
So you don't think
I don't think you will. Those are Persian people. Those are pretty much, civilized people. And they've been used and abused for the last 50 years. But they don't have an even odds.
But your assumption would be that the civilized people would win out. What if they don't?
Well, that's all up in God's hands. He's the one that directs governments. But at least they have a fighting chance. They never had that 50 years ago.
Is it our responsibility to give the people of Iran a fighting chance, or is it the people of Iran's responsibility to rise up and take that?
They don't have that ability to do that on their own. That's been taken away from them. They don't have the guns. They don't have the power.
What threat does Iran pose to the United States today?
Great to the entire region, which also affects us. You have all of the, Houthis, Hamas, and Hezbollah, they're a thorn in everybody's side. They get themselves involved, with Ukraine war, everything. If they were no longer there, but we can't control that.
I mean, I just have a hard time jumping all in on this and feeling like it's in America's best interest. And nothing you've said has really swayed me.
They're a type of people, someone who's going to commit murder to over 35,000 people, someone needs to respond to that. If we don't, somebody needs to. It doesn't need to be Israel, but I don't know who else has the power to do that. Someone's got to stand up for the innocent. I believe, as under God's.
But I mean, how many?
Someone's got to stand up for it.
But how many other populations of innocent people throughout the world are being, tortured and murdered and generally having a bad time because of the government that's in power in their country. So, like, if we have to do it in Iran, does that mean that we have to go do it in South Africa? Does that mean we have to do it in Nigeria? Does that mean we have to do it in China with the Uyghur Muslims? Like, I mean, like, when does it stop? Do we have to be the world's police?
Sometimes I believe we do. Nigeria and the other countries, even though they're killing hundreds of thousands, Romania, Rwanda, they're not causing havoc in the rest of the world where Iran is. They're staying to their own region. Iran is not. They're spreading out. They want to take over the whole world. That's their plan, with the Shiites.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm open to your thought process, and I'm open to be convinced. I don't see Iran as a sudden direct threat to the United States, and because of that, I don't know if we should be putting our soldiers in the line of fire.
They are not a direct threat to us. They're not going to be sending missiles our way.
Exactly.
But like I said, if we don't respond to the 35,000 killed, who's going to?
But do we have to?
Yeah, we do.
I mean, but so then if any,
they're not going to stop.
But if any government is killing thousands of people, we have to respond.
If they're wreaking havoc in the rest of the world, I think we need to interject ourselves. Like I said, Nigeria, they're killing, thousands of Christians, but they're not going anywhere else. They're not going over, into Brazil or Venezuela or anywhere,
I mean, but you can make the argument that the only reason that Hezbollah or Hamas or the Houthis even got their funding was because of the loosening of sanctions that was done under the Biden administration and the outright ignoring of sanctions. So if that stranglehold had remained in place, then we wouldn't have seen them spilling out into the rest of the world. Don't you think that we have systems in place that could isolate them further that we could do instead of putting our soldiers in the line of fire?
No, I don't think so. These are evil people. They will do what they plan on doing. They'll starve their own people. They don't care.
I mean, I don't want
Hamas and what they did to Palestine.
And I don't want this to sound cold, but why, as an American, should I be worried about the Iranians starving their own people? Like, it's bad, and we can both agree that is a bad thing. But, like, why should I be moved to put our soldiers in the line of fire because something bad is happening elsewhere?
Because if we don't stand up for the innocent, who will? If we don't stand up for children who are being abused, who will? Someone has to respond to that.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. But we have cartels operating in Mexico. The country is burning down because one of their leaders were killed. They pump deadly drugs into our country every year. Hundreds of thousands of Americans get killed. But we don't see the same fervor and the same intense reaction to that we do to Iran with people that we don't know in places that we can't point out on a map. So, like, why does this take precedent? You get what I'm saying? Do you get where you see where I'm coming from?
I think they're both important.
Okay.
Yeah, one's killing 100,000 Americans, and they're not killing Americans.
Yeah, I mean, like, if
I can't, I look at mankind. I can't separate them.
I hear you, and I appreciate the call, Larry, and thanks for trying to flesh that out with me. I just don't. I can't support it in the same way. I don't know. I just and let's also be fair. The Trump administration said that they completely obliterated the nuclear capabilities of Iran. They went after the media when the media said, your language is a bit too strong. We all sided with President Trump. We thought he threaded the needle, and it was the third option that nobody saw being as an option, and he did it great. And everybody supported that strike, especially in the aftermath of it. There was a lot more dispute. There was a lot more discussion around that first strike in the lead up to it than there is with this apparent strike that is imminent. But if Kamala Harris had been president, and Kamala Harris had said that she completely obliterated the nuclear program, and then we were here today with Kamala Harris still at the helm, and we were going down this road, I tend to believe that every conservative in the audience would be like, this is BS, bovine scatology. You told us it was completely obliterated, and it's not, apparently. I think we would have a lot more questions than we do today. And so I can't just jump in and support this thing. Unless somebody else can break it down in a way that's very understandable, I don't see it. Let's go to Brian on the road who calls in a bit. What's up, Brian? How are you, man?
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Well, I get your frustration. Larry was awesome. That dude. I mean, he was saying things that I was thinking, and we don't even know each other. But these guys, they're terrorists. Okay, we agree with that, right? They're world terrorists that don't step out with a uniform and fight fair, just like the Vietnamese did for a long time. They had people dressed in whatever and put their babies out front with bombs tied to them. That's how they fight. That's how cowards fight. You know that as good as I do. They sponsor things, but they don't get into it themselves because they're cowards. I'd almost go as far as to say they're a sissy. They talk big, but unless we have the bully of the neighborhood take on, the guy that can whip the bully, then who's going to speak for those people? I get that you're saying, who cares if they obliterate their own people? But it's almost biblical, I think, to stand up for what's right. Now, the whole premise is that we're going to put boots on the ground, right? Is that what your premise is?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I think it's hard to predict what would happen. I think my current premise is I'm not gung-ho about war with Iran. I'm not gung-ho about regime change because we've seen that movie a few times and it never works out well. I mean, see Iraq, Syria, Libya. So there's going to be a power vacuum that gets created that could make things worse. We find ourselves in the land of unintended consequences. And then as far as threat rankings for American citizens, I don't see how we can place Iran above the cartels.
Okay, well, I think two things can be right. We say you say that, I say that all the time. Three things, whatever. But if we don't put boots on the ground and we can strike the regime and get rid of them, why can't we send a bunch of delegations over time? Just as probably what we should have done before with Iraq and some of the others. Maybe it's what we should do in Venezuela now. Send teams of people that show the people how to vote, how to have a democracy, how to have a republic. And
I mean, come on, Brian, we're talking about the Middle East here.
I get it.
But we've tried that before. I remember the purple fingers. Everybody was so excited about the purple fingers. And then where are we at in Iraq? Isn't it, where are we at in Afghanistan? Everybody was so excited. And has democracy caught fire there yet?
No, but I think we're half-hearted when we do it sometimes. It's kind of shallow. It's not deep. Now, if they don't want it, then we say bye. We'll be sitting over here.
But then we're back in the land of unintended consequences, where the strong man is going to take power. The strong man is probably not going to be a good man, and then we're doing this again in a decade.
Well, I disagree that they're not having an effect on American people, because I think it may be the Saudis, I don't know, but I think Iran probably was behind some of 9/11 also. I think George Soros, he's our Iran. He sponsors crap all the time, but he won't step out. Where's he at? Where's his son at? They sponsor needles, people who want to needle the good people. And we don't, you say all the time, I don't advocate violence on the show. I know you don't, but I do. I advocate violence. I say, we've given you chance after chance after chance. Now it's time to do something. Trump's not a bluffer. He's not. And I believe we like that. I like it. I want to be there. If we had Kamala Harris as the president, are you kidding me?
But if
she would acquiesce to everything. If they told her, shut up, she would.
But if Kamala Harris had threaded the needle and done that strike, said it was completely obliterated, and then we found ourselves in the same position where we are today, less than a year later, you and I both would be saying, I thought you said completely obliterated.
No, well, that ain't going to happen with her. She would have never pulled that trigger.
Well,
ever.
and I tend to agree with you there, but I'm just, for the sake of the conversation, I think we would both look at her a little bit sideways.
Well, absolutely, for standing up and having gonads. Yeah, I would look sideways at her.
Brian,
I don't think she's got it in her, neither does Biden.
Nah, I feel you. Brian, I appreciate the call, man. As always, let's go to Chris in Nashville. Chris, you're up next on Super Talk. What's up, Chris?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, man, I'm gonna give you a huge compliment, man, because I had an epiphany about 30 minutes ago, dude. Man, you're almost too good for this station. Like I'm not even used to this level of professionalism and the voice and the articulate thoughts, man. You're doing a great job at this, really.
Well, thank you. Checks in the mail. What are your thoughts on the Iran conversation?
Man, we got to stop being the world police. We got to stop being the police of the world. I heard that other caller talk about helping children. I agree. We should help children. You want to help children? There's children in Nashville that need help.
Amen.
There's people in Tennessee that need help. If something were to happen to us, not only would they never help us, all these countries we're helping, they would laugh. They would think it's ironic. Ain't that great? Finally, something bad has happened to them. They're not going to build a raft and come help us. And it's not about helping people that can help you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you want to help people, help your neighbor.
I'm with you 100%. And this is kind of where I'm at on the Iran conversation. We're looking at Mexico directly to the south of us, completely imploding because a cartel leader has been taken out. And it seems like the national security concern is Iran, who couldn't hit us if they tried today. But the cartels could. They certainly could. So I just think in the order of importance, there are a lot more things that would affect U.S. national security and United States citizens before Iran. Maybe I'm wrong, and you're open to call into the show and tell me where I'm wrong, and I'm all ears to listen to that conversation. 615-737-9986. Got a couple Steves waiting on the line. Mary is waiting on the line. Joel as well. We'll get to all of these calls plus yours on the way. It's 1023 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at United Structural Systems. A couple weeks ago, Winter Storm Fern. Everybody still remembers Winter Storm Fern, right? You haven't blocked it out of your memory with PTSD or anything like that. The freezing, the thawing, the flooding, the waterlogged soil. This is the stuff that will quietly compromise your home's foundation, and that's where United Structural Systems comes in. These guys have been working on homes' foundations for more than 30 years, helping homeowners across Tennessee repair the foundation that's been damaged by storms and severe weathers. They don't offer quick fixes. That's not their style. What they do is they deliver long-term solutions, customized solutions, because your home is way too important to gamble with. What really sets USS apart is their commitment to the community. This March is going to be their 10th Habitat build right here in Middle Tennessee, Ashland City to be specific. USS volunteers are going to be framing and installing roof trusses, helping a family rebuild on solid ground. That's what service looks like. That's what integrity looks like. And if your home has a foundation issue after severe weather, choose a company that stands with Tennessee families. Choose United Structural Systems. You can visit USSTN.com or pick up the phone and call them today. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. USSTN.com.
Up ahead, U.S. citizens are stranded in Mexico. Major airlines have now grounded their flights. Also, why a Vanderbilt professor is under investigation. Those stories at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We got Mason Fleming producing. And we got you guys, the most important part of the show, jumping in on the text line and the phone lines, as always, 615-737-9986. I also see you guys in the YouTube chat. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Let's go to Mary in Nashville. She's got some concerns when it comes to Iran. What's up, Mary? How are you?
Hey there. I'm good. I was just thinking, you asked why we should care as Americans about Iran, and my only thing is, and I don't have the answer because now we got a big problem in our hemisphere, but when they get done with Israel, they're coming for us. That's why they have that saying, first comes Saturday, then comes Sunday. The little Satan, which is Israel, and then the great Satan, which is us, the United States. So, they're not going away. They're not going to quit.
Well,
so I don't know what the answer is, but that's why I think I would care as an American.
I guess my question would be, for you is how strong do you think Israel is? Because in my estimation, and granted, I'm not a military expert by any stretch of the imagination, I feel like Israel could handle Iran on its own pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I guess maybe they could, maybe not. But even if they could, then what does that do with regard to all the other nations that are surrounding them? And like the problem with Syria, and Syria is a problem. Jelani is a problem. He's not a good guy, so okay, so we're talking about Syria being an issue, but Syria had a strong leader in there that, listen, it wasn't the best place to live, not somewhere I would sign up to move to. But it was a bit better under Assad, was it not? And I just feel like no matter what you do, you can point to a dictator and be like, this guy's bad, but then it's immediately the land of unintended consequences as soon as we replace them. Right. Well, and so you asked the question earlier about like, okay, you get rid of the Ayatollah, and then but who, we don't know who is going to step in and fill the void, and which is like what has happened now in Syria, is that we got rid of Assad, but now we've got Jelani, who is as bad, if not worse, than Assad. It's like it's just I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
But that goes back to my other point, which is they were pretty strangled with sanctions before the last administration started ignoring them. So why don't we go back to what was working instead of trying to repeat the same mistakes that we've seen play out again and again and again, which would be regime change?
Yeah, to me, they're not mutually exclusive. It's not, it's like both and instead of either or. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the answer is, but and I hate the idea of like our military being everybody over there, and now we've got this mess in our hemisphere. It's like, great. What do we do now?
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, Mary, and I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. Again, I got a couple Steves waiting. I got Tom, I got Joel. We'll get to all these calls on the way. 1031 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 1031. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. U.S. and Canadian airlines have now halted flights to Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara in Mexico after violence broke out in the country in the wake of the Mexican Army's killing of a cartel leader.
The 59-year-old El Mencho was also wanted by the U.S., a Pentagon official telling ABC News that NORTHCOM, a newly established U.S. task force, provided information for the raid. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on X saying El Mencho was a top target for the Mexican and United States government as one of the top traffickers of fentanyl into our homeland.
That's ABC's Allison Kosick reporting. As for now, the U.S. State Department has told U.S. citizens to shelter in place. Vanderbilt University investigating one of its professors for an anti-Semitic teaching. Tekin Karadeg is from Turkey, but he's been in the U.S. for more than a decade. Now he teaches math at Vanderbilt, and a recent lesson asked students to measure how much land is decreasing in that area called Palestine State, he says, because of the occupation by Israel. Vanderbilt says the content has been removed. That story comes amid the announcement that Vanderbilt University Medical Center is ending sex change surgeries for adults. The hospital statement blames operational limitations and a lack of surgical coverage. They'll continue to offer care, just not the surgeries. Vanderbilt stopped doing sex change surgeries on young children in 2022 after being threatened by a new state law. Stocks are trading sharply lower today. The Dow Jones Industrials down 681 points. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And when winter storms hit Nashville, they don't mess around. You know it. I know it. We've all seen it. Power outages, frozen lines, burst pipes. And what starts small, well, that can turn into a major home disaster super quick. That's why now is the time to call Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This is the team you trust when it matters most. You can get some real savings on real protection, like 40% off a whole home surge protector with any electrical repair. You protect your home from sudden outages and damaging voltage spikes before the next storm rolls in. And if freezing temperatures have already done a number on your plumbing, we'll talk to Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They're offering $500 off select whole home water repipes. Fix it right, the right way, right now, before a small leak becomes an expensive flood. And if you got that stubborn clog and you've been dealing with it, you got to ask these guys about their 93 or free mainline clog special. Either they clear it or you don't pay for it. There's no in between. This winter, stay safe, stay warm, and stay ahead of the damage. Visit busybhvac.com or pick up the phone and call them today, 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, busybhvac.com. It's 10:38, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We're talking about Iran. I got a gang of people waiting to chime in on the phone lines. You're welcome to chime in as well. 615-737-9986. I'm going through the texts. And a lot of people are saying that the reason you put Iran over the cartels is because of nuclear weapons. But again, I would just say I thought the nuclear program was obliterated. It wasn't? I thought we knocked them years behind. Decades. No, we didn't? Okay, all right, I'm wrong. I thought that's what the administration said.
Allegedly.
Yet here we are, months later, and it seems like we're having the same conversation again. So let me know what you think. 615-737-9986. I've got a gang of text messages. Nuclear. It's because of the nuclear weapons. Okay. So do we need to criticize the Trump administration for not completely obliterating the nuclear program in Iran? That's a fair question. And as a conservative, you're allowed to ask that question. As a Trump supporter, you're allowed to ask that question. Because, and I'll make the point again, if Kamala Harris was the president, let's take a trip down fantasy lane. And I don't want to scare you too much. I know. It's a dark fantasy. Kamala Harris is the president. She somehow threads the needle and does the third option the way, same thing Trump did, right? So pretend it just happened exactly the same. If we were then less than a year from that, months removed, and Kamala Harris was talking about we need to do another strike, would you feel the same way? Or would you be upset? I think that's a fair question. Currently, the way it stands, this feels very neoconish, the war with Iran. It just does. And I'm sorry that it makes some people upset when I say that. But this feels like another war that we don't want, that doesn't directly impact America. And there's better places we could be spending our time, money, and resources than in the Middle East. Maybe I'm alone in thinking this. And I'm open to your arguments that I'm wrong. If you want to have a conversation, then let's have a conversation. 615-737-9986. Let's start with Stephen, who's a veteran in Clarksville. What's up, Steve? How are you?
Hey, good morning there, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, like everybody else, I got my own thoughts and sticking to it. I think we ought to leave the tribe of Ishmael alone. Let them handle their own business. Their stepbrothers, the Hebrews, can handle them. But it's like you said, haven't we learned Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan? My son's got PTSD. My daughter's got PTSD. You know, haven't we learned yet? You know, what is the lack of wisdom is doing the same stupid things over again, isn't it?
It feels like we're doing the same stupid things over again.
They don't feel, there is no doubt about it, but there's one thing. Everybody, you know, I voted for Trump. We don't put our hope in man. We put it in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
He's using these governments as a river to do his bidding. Now, I'm going to end it with this. You can beat me up if you want to, but in Revelation chapter 9, it says that the four evil spirits out of Euphrates rivers, they go kill a third of the world population. I don't like talking about it because I have a family. But if we believe the whole word of God from Genesis to Revelation, all in between, Route 66, hey, I'm not afraid. Jesus is in control, and hopefully I'm ready to see him. You have a great day, bro.
Hey, I appreciate the call, Steve, and thank you for your service, and thank you for your son's service and your daughter's service as well. I'm sorry that they're dealing with what they're dealing with, and we salute them for their service. When it comes to the Revelation stuff, I'll just be honest. I don't dive down Revelation rabbit holes. I think it was pretty well laid out that no man is going to know the return. No man is going to know the time. And then I just go back in history and I'm like, okay, you know, the people that were at Pearl Harbor while it was being bombed probably had a good argument why they thought it was Revelation. You know, if you were in Japan when the atom bomb got dropped, you were probably probably in a good shape to talk about how it's the end of times. And you can go through so many different courses in history, and you could make the same argument, maybe even stronger than you could make it today. But I don't know. Maybe we are. Maybe we are. We could be. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows the time or the place. 615-737-9986. Let's go to the other Steve on the road. Steve, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, my man? Pretty good, sir. How are you today?
I'm good. Your thoughts on Iran?
Yeah, I'm like you, man. I'm wondering why, when we hit their nuclear site, why did we not have a regime change then? We should have captured or taken him out. I don't know if it's because we didn't have the assets in place that we have now. It looks like we're getting ready to strike all their rocket sites and all their military sites, all their bases and all their proxies and stuff. Well, I don't know if we're going to have to hit much more of their proxies because Israel took out most of
the Houthis, the Hamas, the Hezbollah.
Yeah, they took out a lot of the top brass from Iran, from the Ayatollah there or whatever. But I'm just like, man, we should have gotten this guy already. I don't understand why we left him in power, because if we're going to liberate him and free the people and stop the killing, all we got to do is get that guy out of there. Well, maybe that's all we got to do.
That sounds very, elementary, right? But somebody else is going to take that same next spot, and it's going to be a power vacuum. And then, how's Iraq and Syria and Libya looking these days?
Well, unless, if we give them free elections, but we have some of our diplomats over there to run for like a Iranian/American presidential figure or something like that, or put ambassadors in place and where we can kind of micromanage all their stuff. But it also looks like, Iran's got a lot of oil. This could be another part of the embargo plan against Russia and China as well. So who knows, man? But I just pray for the people over there for their safety. But I think since we're there and we're at this point, we might as well go ahead and take out their military might so we can move on to the next step.
What would the next step be in your calculations?
Freedom for Iran, more freedom than they've ever known.
See, I just think that's the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and I just feel like that's gonna completely destabilize that country. Not that it's stable.
They could be so prosperous, they could be so wealthy and have a great life over there. All they need is the right people in power, and I think we're going to have to be the ones to commence that, to start the change.
You might be right. I don't know. I tend to think that it'll get worse instead of getting better if you were to do something like that. Do you think the Trump administration deserves any criticism for saying that the nuclear program was completely obliterated, but now saying that we need to go strike them again because of the nuclear program?
As far as that goes, I just remember watching all those daggone rockets flying into Israel and seeing that. Wow, that was amazing. That was pretty wild. I remember that. That was like over a period of weeks, days, if not weeks, and just somebody that would do something like that, man, just to rain down hell on just a whole society, a whole nation of people. They got some serious issues they need to be addressed, and they don't have the fleet that we have. They don't have the power and that we have. They couldn't come over here or go anywhere else in the world for that matter. So it's best we take care of the situation, I think, because they're kind of like they're not taking care of things the way they should. They're just kind of like a loose cannon, literally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, Steven. I appreciate the call. Let's go to Travis in Nashville. What's up, Travis?
Yes, sir. I'm 79 years old, and I have worked in a government agency. Let's just say that. And let me say, I hear this ever since I was a kid about policing the world. And I used to be a policeman, but if we don't, somebody will. And when we think that they don't have anything to do with us, it has everything to do with us. And if you just think about it, and you don't sleep at night. If we ever go off the dollar standard, we're done. We're done. If we don't have enough allies around the country And just, I think they're scared of Trump like they kind of were Reagan. They can't. But when they went in to when the Soviets started this war they're in now, Russia, they surrounded it. Joe Biden said, I won't get involved. 2 days later, they went in. Yeah, that's why they went in. And if you're not going to fight them, if you're not going to keep them out, they will. And the Mideast thing is a little different because I know it's not proper English to say it's a Muslim war. It doesn't matter. Can Israel defeat Iran? They could by themselves, probably. But when you bring in, and you would have to defeat Russia, but helping them. But if you bring in the Muslim nations, but there's so many things they can do. Our immigration is the thing that we didn't police, and we let them do what we're doing now. They left these countries to come here. We need to stop that. We need to police the world, and we can do it. Trust me. I know the budgets. We're going to do it. If we hadn't done it in World War II, we'd all be speaking German. So there comes that point you have to say, we have to police the world. We have to have allies that will stop it.
Yeah, I mean, I hear where you're coming from. I just tend to disagree. I don't think Iran is a direct threat to the United States of America, and I think there are direct threats to the United States of America that we should be addressing first.
Well, if you're talking about country, I think there's threats here, but it's not. Iran is kind of getting isolated now, mainly because Trump is in there.
Yeah, well, listen, the fact that sanctions were loosened or ignored under Joe Biden is why they were able to build up funds for the October 7th attack. I mean, and everybody knows that. So if there are operating procedures in place like those sanctions that are going to strangle them from a cash flow perspective, they're already isolated. What good is regime change going to do? Because it just seems to me like that's going to create a whole another tier to this mess.
Well, when it did work, we controlled the change. But I say this out loud, it may be at my house tonight, but let me tell everyone, Qatar is not our friend, period. They have all the money in the world. Back when the war was going on with Israel, I mean, some of the head of Hamas were in Qatar.
Yeah, yep,
So
you're absolutely right.
Iran, you can't just look at them as separate. It is we can't understand.
But that kind of goes to like how delicate the balance of peace is in the Middle East. I mean, you laid it out. Qatar is technically an ally, yet they were shielding the leaders of Hamas. I mean, so that's an ally, but then Iran is the enemy. It seems like there's so much more shades of gray in the Middle East than there is black and white.
Well, when we realized, and I was working at a time, Jimmy Carter was president. But if you don't know what the problem is, you'll never fix it. We're in a religious war, period. Zero, end of story. We can't seem to understand because if it's raining, sometimes we don't go to church. We can't imagine somebody will strap a bomb to themselves and walk into a place and pull a lever. We can't comprehend that because we wouldn't do that. But you're dealing with people that are so dedicated, countries that are so dedicated.
But so this kind of goes back to my point on how regime change creates a power vacuum and a bigger mess than what we currently have. I mean, if we can't physically envision the will of one of these radicals to walk in and pull a lever, as you put it, with a suicide bombing, right, then how misguided are we to say, well, gee whiz, we got to bring them some democracy and teach them how to vote, and then things are going to get better?
Well, I talked with the guy the other day who worked at one of the agencies. We were talking about music because I kind of retired, went in the music business. Back when we had a song called "See the Pyramids Along the White Mile," they used to go to the Mediterranean on vacation. We used to go to Cuba on vacation. All of these countries that we used to visit, we can't even go to now. And what did we do different then? Well, we need to look back at what we did then opposed to what we do now, because those were vacation spots for us. They kicked us out, and everything they do has something to do with us, whether it's financially, whether it's just keeping us unstable. And the thing that's doing so good now is that, and I'm one of those people that I'd vote for Trump again tomorrow, but I ain't really crazy about Trump, but he's doing the job. He's got that fear factor I saw under Reagan, and I was still working then. They just didn't know if that cowboy was going to come get them or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the things I've said, with all the reporting going around. We don't know how much of this is posturing by either side when it comes to negotiations that are going to take place on Thursday. We're just speculating here. We have no idea what the next move is.
Well, every president said we will not have nuclear weapons in North Korea. I mean, all of them. It won't happen. Well, guess what? They have one. Now we started it on our land. They won't have one. Trust me, they will have one.
Yep.
Eventually, another administration or two or change, they will have one just like North Korea did. We just keep saying it, distracting from it. Next thing you know, they've got it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And I appreciate the call, and I appreciate the time. We'll take more of your phone calls on the other side. Tom, Steve, Mike, Joel. Hang on, guys. We'll get to your calls next. 1054 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's 10:59, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We've been talking about Iran. Should we go or should we hold off? I mean, the decision's ultimately in the hands of the Trump administration, but we're playing hypotheticals here, and we're taking your phone calls at 615-737-9986. Let's go to Tom in Franklin. Tom, real quick, your thoughts on Iran?
Yes, sir. Larger question or larger issue than just Iran itself. If you know about the Abraham Accords, if you want to break down the Middle East between Shia and Sunni, that'll give you the Sunnis are pretty much on board with the Abraham Accord, and they make a majority of the Middle East. Shia, which is Iran, is the holdout, and they're considered kind of like, even though they're a smaller percentage of the Muslim population, they're considered kind of a pariah, if you will. But they're a big player. So think of it as a Cold War in the Middle East, like between like what the U.S. was and the Russians. If you get Iran on board with the Abraham Accords, you pretty much have peace in the Middle East, and it'll be very stabilizing to the whole area.
So you're thinking that the calculation isn't just about nuclear weapons. The calculation is about bringing in new leadership that would be more open to the Abraham Accords.
Iran is the only holdout to the Abraham Accords. If you bring them on board, I would stop using regime change. I would just say, because they're a paper tiger as it is right now. The only thing holding together the leadership in Iran is fear and doubt. And they've had a stranglehold on it for such a long time that they know their time is coming to an end. And I think Trump is giving them every opportunity to give them an out. If they don't take the out, just like they did with Maduro in Venezuela, he's giving them every opportunity. If they don't take it, he's going to have to do what he has to do. Don't think of it as regime change. Just think of it as an opportunity for the Iranian people to take control of their own destination. If they could do that, you have a player that comes along with the Sunnis, then you're going to have a stronger, more stable Middle East, period.
Tom, you may be right. You may be wrong. I don't know for sure. Only time is going to tell, and we'll see what the Trump administration does, and we'll keep you updated on all of that right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Yeah, we're in the deep freeze right now. We're at 24 degrees right now in Nashville, but we got a warm up on the way and some rain. So we're freezing today, but at least it's not like we're in the Northeast or anything. This is Bruce Trio with ABC affiliate RIV. Riverhead, Long Island.
Riverhead at eastern Long Island looks like a Courier and Ives card. However, if you live out here, you're not going anywhere. We've got about 18 inches of snow in Riverhead, and in Quogue on the South Shore, they've got 20 inches of snow.
Matt Rivers is in Boston.
There is a state of emergency declared across the entire state of Massachusetts, which some areas expected to get more than 24, maybe even 30 inches of snow. That combined with wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour, really making this entire situation across the state untenable at this point. Power outages also remain a big concern. Customers across the state now without power.
President Trump giving Iran an ultimatum, come up with a deal on its nuclear program within the next couple of weeks, or he said, quote, really bad things would happen. ABC News has learned President Trump's weighing a limited military operation, but Iran says it would retaliate if such an operation was carried out. Here's ABC's Ian Panel.
We've seen demonstrations in several universities with students shouting slogans against Iran's supreme leader. Remember, protests last month were brutally crushed, with at least 7,000 people killed by regime forces. Meanwhile, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff warning Iran could be a week away from having material for a nuclear bomb, but that's been the case for months.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Did I make you a little nervous, Mason?
Just a little bit.
I feel like you were sweating.
Just no.
I didn't walk back into the studio till the weather was halfway over.
Yeah, no, I saw that and I was like, okay, no. Chris is good about being on time. I don't have to worry.
I was over at the Wally Bean machine making me a hot chocolate and espresso.
Isn't that your third one today?
Are you judging me?
I'm not judging. I'm just making sure you're okay. That's a lot of caffeine, my friend.
It's not that much.
Didn't you say your earlier one had 3 shots, though, in one?
Okay, every single one has had 3 shots of espresso.
Okay, there we go.
So this would only be 9 shots of espresso.
Just 9.
I feel like that's not that bad, actually.
Chris, slow down. You're talking way too fast right now.
Are you sure? I feel like I'm going normal speed.
Hold on.
Okay. So I've had 9 shots of espresso. That's not a crime.
No.
People have had more.
You're not wrong on that end.
Dude, when I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts as a kid, oh my gosh. It was like I had like an IV drip of espresso.
Just immediate walk through the door, donut, espresso.
I'll tell you what, working at a Dunkin' Donuts as a kid growing up in Massachusetts was the best because you could get fired for outlandish things. Like, and we would get into it with managers because we're only getting paid like $8. And so we'd get into it with managers, we'd get fired, and then you would literally just cross the street to the other Dunkin' Donuts and you'd walk in and you'd be like, hey, I'm already trained. And they would say, get in here.
Welcome to the Dunks.
When can you start? I'd be like, I'll start right now. I just need a triple shot of espresso. That's all I need.
That's all I ask. You don't have to bump my pay. Just give me that espresso.
That's it. That's all we needed. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good childhood.
Sounds great.
Speaking of which, Legend Steakhouse, also going to be awesome. That's tomorrow night. Steak of the Union. We're going to be out there. Matt Murphy's going to be doing his entire show live. Myself, Mandis, Benson, we're all going to be hanging out. We want you to join us as well. There are, what, 6 tickets left?
Yeah, I think we're down to 6. We had a couple taken earlier.
There are 6 tickets left. SIX, 6 out of an exclusive 100. We are very close to this being a sellout. If you have not gotten your tickets yet, but you were really planning on coming and you've just been kicking the can down the road, you are almost out of time. You have almost lost your opportunity. 997WTN.com for tickets. 997WTN.com for tickets. Do you know who's not coming?
Who's not coming?
Adam Schiff is sitting out the State of the Union.
What?
I know.
No.
Listen, people are stunned. We'll send him an invite to our State of the Union. Maybe he can come. We've invited a lot of Democrats so far.
I still haven't heard back from Maxine Waters.
We haven't gotten any replies. No RSVPs.
No.
Violating the law and Constitution. He is ignoring court orders. He has weaponized the Justice Department to go after his enemies. He is letting loose ICE troops in our streets that are getting people killed. I will not be attending the State of the Union. I've never missed one. I have always gone both to inaugurations and to States of the Union, but we cannot treat this as normal. This is not business as usual. I will not give him the audience he craves for the lies that he tells. I'll be outside the Capitol with Midas touch and move on for the people's State of the Union, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday.
Stunning and brave. I think that's what we can all agree. Adam Schiff is absolutely stunning and brave. Just the selflessness. He's never missed one, he said.
Yeah, just top notch.
I mean, he stands on business, that Adam Schiff. He does. J.D. Vance says that the State of the Union is going to be full 2026 vibes and energy when Donald Trump gets going tomorrow night.
Ahead of the president. But look, you're going to hear a lot about the importance of bringing jobs back into our country, of reshoring manufacturing, of all these great factories that are being built. But when they turn on and you're hiring thousands of American workers per factory, that's when the real Trump boom, I think, starts. I think he's going to talk about regulatory change, the importance of lowering energy prices for American citizens, because, if you lower a person's gas bill or you lower a person's electricity bill, That's good because they're paying less money for gas and electricity, but it also means the farmer who is taking the food to the grocery store, that price goes down because the farmer's paying less for gas and electricity too. So you'll hear a lot about the Trump energy boom, which is very powerful. We've got record low energy prices, and that's a very good thing to point to.
So that's Vance giving a little preview. He did a whole interview with Laura Trump on Fox News over the weekend. Cutting food costs, lower gas prices, bringing jobs back to America, reshoring that manufacturing base, the Trump energy boom, building factories, regulatory change. These are some of the things that you can expect from Donald Trump tomorrow night at the State of the Union. What you shouldn't be expecting is Adam Schiff or Maxine Waters or other Democrats to be in attendance. They're going to be boycotting it. Do you think that he said he'd be out there with Midas touch, Adam Schiff did, doing the People's State of the Union? You think he's getting paid for that? I bet you he's getting paid.
Probably.
He's probably getting paid. Speaking of which, people are wondering what's going on with their money, the tariffs. This is a big story. We haven't had a chance to get to it yet. Donald Trump, essentially, with the tariff ruling coming down from the Supreme Court, he commented, "Screw you. I'm going to tariff even harder now." I'm paraphrasing. I'm kind of paraphrasing. But that was really the gist of it. I'm going to tariff even harder. And we're going to tariff China even harder.
China?
I saw you were over there by the hotkeys. I didn't know if you were trying to hit one.
I was looking for a good one for...
This is what he posted on True Social. You ready for this? The Supreme Court, that he puts in parentheses, will be using lowercase letters for a while based on complete lack of respect. Do you hear that? So the Supreme Court doesn't get capital letters anymore. Bunch of bums. We reserve capital letters for winners and closers, actually. If you're not closing, you're not getting a capital letter.
Wah, wah.
Congratulations. You've just been demoted. He said, we'll be using lowercase letters for a while based on complete lack of respect. The Supreme Court of the United States accidentally and unwittingly gave me, as President of the United States, far more powers and strength than I had prior to their ridiculous, dumb, and very internationally divisive ruling. For one thing, I can use licenses to do absolutely terrible things to foreign countries, especially those countries that have been ripping us off, all caps, for many decades, but incomprehensibly, according to the ruling, can't charge them a license fee. But all licenses charge fees, also all caps. Why can't the United States do so? You do a license to get a fee. The opinion doesn't explain that, but I know the answer. The court has also approved other tariffs, of which there are many, and they can all be used in a much more powerful and obnoxious way, with legal certainty, than the tariffs as initially used. Our incompetent Supreme Court did a great job for the wrong people. And for that, they should be ashamed of themselves. But not the great three. They got capital letters, the great three. Kavanaugh, Alito, Thomas. The next thing you know, they will rule in favor of China and others who are making an absolute fortune on birthright citizenship by saying the 14th Amendment was not written to take care of the babies of slaves, which was proven by the exact timing of its construction, filing, and ratification, which perfectly coincided with the end of the Civil War, all caps. How much better can you do than that? But this Supreme Court will find a way to come to the wrong conclusion, one that will make China and other various nations happy and rich.
China?
Let our Supreme Court keep making decisions that are so bad and deleterious. I think he meant to say delirious, but he wrote deleterious.
Yeah, big word's hard.
Deleterious to the future of our nation. I have a job to do. Make America great again. President Donald J. Trump. Is deleterious a word? Is this like covfefe when we found out it was a word? Do you remember that? Do you remember the covfefe?
I do remember that.
Yep. Deleterious is a word.
Interesting. Big words are hard for me.
Causing harm or damage. And the sentence they use is, divorce is assumed to have deleterious effects on children. Am I saying it right?
Deleterious.
Deleterious. It sounds more official that way.
Yeah.
Deleterious.
Deleterious.
That word's too good for me.
It's too good for me. I went to public school. So, President Trump, I say all that to say my paraphrase was actually pretty accurate.
Actually, yeah.
Screw you guys, I'm going to tariff even harder now. Screw you guys, I'm filing more tariffs. It's like Cartman. I'm going home. Screw
so
you.
Good.
So would the kids call this tariff maxing? I feel like the kids would call this tariff maxing. Is it cringy when I do it? I feel like it's a little cringe.
Just a little bit.
They're tariff maxing.
I think you're right on what you're saying. It's just, I don't know. Overuse might play into it.
Okay. So don't do it again.
Use it sparing. Like a good seasoning, use it sparingly.
Okay. Jamison Greer, United States Trade Representative, was asked about the tariff maxing.
The 15% tariffs, of course, will expire at the end of July. That's about 3 months before the midterms. So what does President Trump do at the end of that period with midterms looming that have to be on his mind? He comes out and extends it. He comes out and announces more. This is not popular with the American people. In our latest poll, 2/3 of Americans are not happy with the tariffs.
Well, the president's been campaigning on tariffs and protecting American industry for many years, and he does what he says. He delivers on his promises, and so the policy hasn't changed. The legal tool to implement it, that might change, but the policy hasn't changed, and so we're aiming for continuity. There's a 15% tariff now. It's roughly equivalent to the types of tariffs that we had in place under IEEPA. As this tool expires, I'm going to be conducting Section 301 investigations. The Commerce Department has existing tariffs under Section 232. A lot of tariffs are still in place. The reality is we want to maintain the policy we have as much continuity as possible, make sure that business understands this is the direction we've been going. We're going to continue going this.
That's U.S. Trade Representative Jamison Greer breaking down the tariffs and where we stand today over the weekend on ABC this week. So the president had come out and said, well, we're going to do 10% tariff across the board. Then that later got raised to 15%. A lot of our allies who have made trade deals with us based on the tariffs originally are saying, please, sir, please don't tariff max. That's what they're saying. They're saying it with British accents. It was the European Union who were saying, please, sir, please don't tariff max us. They came out and said, what?
Sorry, I just keep hearing you say tariff maxing, and I love it.
I'm only using it sparingly.
Only using it sparingly.
We're only using that sparingly. Please,
sir.
Please, sir. Please don't tariff max us.
Please don't tariff max us.
The European Union's executive arm requested full clarity from the United States and asked its trade partner to fulfill its commitments after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down the tariffs. This happened over the weekend. Trump lashed out at the court's decision and said Saturday he wants a global tariff of 15%, up from 10% the day earlier. We're tariff maxing. You understand this. It's going to be 20% by the end of the day. It would be 30 or 40 if we let the madman have his way. The European Commission said the current situation is not conducive to delivering fair, balanced, and mutually beneficial transatlantic trade and investment, as agreed to by both sides and spelled out in the EU-U.S. joint statement of August 2025. American and EU officials set a trade deal last year that imposes a 15% import tax on 70% of European goods to the United States. The European Commission handles trade for the 27 EU member countries. A top EU lawmaker said on Sunday he will propose to the European Parliament negotiating team to put the ratifying process of the deal on pause. Breitbart's reporting this, saying pure tariff chaos on the part of the U.S. administration. Bernd Lang, the chair of the Parliament's International Trade Committee, wrote on social media, no one can make sense of it anymore. Only open questions and growing uncertainty for the EU and other U.S. trading partners. The value of the EU-U.S. trade in goods and services amounted to 1.7 trillion euros, 2 trillion in American money, in 2024, or an average of 4.6 billion euros a day, according to the EU statistics agency Eurostat. A deal is a deal, the European Commission said. As the United States, the largest trading partner, the EU expects the U.S. to honor its commitments set out in the joint statement. Please don't tariff max us, sir, is what they're saying. I would imagine that all of the trade deals currently are going to stay in place and that they're not going to be changed here in short order. But we'll see what happens. Scott Bessent answered the big question. What's up with the refunds? I mean, are people going to be getting refunds when it comes to the tariffs? I'll bring you those comments from Scott Bessent on the way. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, we'll get you an update on that powerful nor'easter slamming the Northeast today. We're talking about heavy snow and winds of up to 70 miles per hour. Here in Middle Tennessee, the Rutherford County School Board trying to figure out what to do about its bus shortage after a contractor lost its insurance. Details coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. It's 11:26 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. And I'm reading on the text line. I had mentioned that I've had just 9 shots of espresso today.
Yeah, light 9.
Yeah, we're not even in double-digit territory.
Yeah, you're safe. You're safe.
It's fine. Eric texted. He said those are rookie numbers.
He texted from the ceiling.
Statman said Dutch Bros as a drink, a 911 drink with 6 shots of espresso.
Make it a double.
Make it a double, baby. That's what we need. We're caffeine maxing. That's what we're doing. Somebody texted in and said your overuse of tariff maxing will have a deleterious effect on the audience.
Hey, somebody's using their Webster words of the day.
Maybe. They very well could be.
Or White House words of the day?
White House words of the day. We need a White House word of the day calendar.
I'm here for it.
Deleterious is the word of the day for February 23rd.
It's fed directly from Trump's Truth Social.
People need to know.
Deleterious.
Causing harm or damage. People knew it. People were like, you need to learn words. Go back to school.
Learn English.
Okay, sorry. English is hard, actually.
We did public school.
Hardest language to learn is English.
I mean, honestly.
Still a work in progress.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Tariff maxing. Scott Bessent was asked by Dana Bash over the weekend, are you gonna refund the tariffs?
Question. Will you refund the roughly $134 billion in revenue taken by these emergency tariffs?
Well, Dana, that's not the big question. Let's just level set here. What the Supreme Court did was a very narrow reading of the president's authority under the IEEPA tariffs. We have other tariff authorities which have been functioning, Section 232 tariffs, Section 301 tariffs, and Dana, when you say it's a big question, that's bad framing because the Supreme Court didn't even address that. The Supreme Court remanded it down to a lower court, and we will follow what they say, but that could be weeks or months when we hear them. So the Supreme Court did not address refunds.
Sounds like Bessent is saying no refunds. Is that what we're going to get from the Trump administration? No refunds.
No receipt.
Sorry, don't make me tap the sign. It says no refunds. It's cost of doing business, guys.
Yes, sir.
It sounds like that's the move. No refunds. It's going to go down to a lower court, and then we're going to find out. Scott Bessent also said that the 2026 tariff revenue projections remain unchanged. Just the only thing that's changed is how we're going to be charging those tariffs.
I want to point to what we're doing. The administration remains undeterred in reshoring American factories and getting rid of these massive trade imbalances. That's the big story here, is that we are immediately going to go to Section 122 tariffs, and that the revenue for the U.S. Treasury for 2026, the projections are unchanged.
We're going to tariff even harder. Everybody's getting tariffed. If you haven't been tariffed yet, you're going to be tariffed. That's the move. Scott Bessent actually said that Trump is going to go harder, and he laid out how silly it is that he can't go with the IEEPA tariffs, but he could just embargo and blockade all trade.
What the Supreme Court said is that the president cannot use the IEEPA, the Emergency Economic Powers Act, to do this. The president does have other authorities. And as I said, the Section 232 tariffs and the Section 301 tariffs have withstood more than 4,000 lawsuits. So it was very narrow, and it's very interesting that the Supreme Court said that the president can't raise $1 of revenue with tariffs, but he can put on a full embargo. So they reaffirmed his ability to block all trade. He just cannot accept $1 for the trade. And I will tell you, like, the tariff revenues, they have come into the Treasury. But more importantly, the ultimate goal of tariffs is rebalancing trade and bringing our trade deficits into balance. We've seen the goods sector, the deficit with our trading partners drop by 17%. We've seen our bilateral deficit with China drop substantially. And we are seeing trillions of investments and factories coming back to the U.S. because of the tariffs.
Tariffs worked. Tariffs won't be stopping. Tariffs are going to take a new form. No refunds. Is that the gist of the story? I think that's the gist of the story. Don't make him tap the sign again. He said no refunds. Tariff maxing will continue until morale improves. 11:31 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Epstein files fall out. This is breaking news out of the UK, where former Ambassador Peter Mandelson has been arrested in London on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Police carrying out search warrants at his homes in Camden and Wiltshire before taking him into custody. Investigators examining allegations that Mandelson passed sensitive government information to Jeffrey Epstein over a decade ago. And a powerful nor'easter slamming the northeast United States today with blizzard conditions, winds up to 70 miles an hour.
Hopefully everybody stays home and doesn't come out in this. It's not safe.
Now, New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts under states of emergency. More than 5,600 flights have been canceled. 98% of departures grounded at LaGuardia, nearly 90% of JFK. Travelers urged to avoid airports entirely and expect ongoing shutdowns through tonight. You might want to check with your flight wherever you're headed. And the Rutherford County School Board meets tomorrow to reveal next steps to the bus shortage due to a contractor losing insurance. Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac.
Rutherford County Schools has contracts with independent bus owners instead of owning the buses directly. Officials say this issue potentially impacts between 5,000 and 6,000 students, roughly a fifth of the district's bus riders.
We know this is an incredible inconvenience. That's why we've worked so hard this weekend to try to resolve as much of it as possible. But we're going to keep parents posted as we move forward because there will continue to be some adjustments and changes as we cover those routes.
The district says while most students were picked up this morning, some buses are running double routes, which cause delays and could continue to cause delays through Tuesday.
By the way, families on these impacted routes will see absences and tardies excused, and even unaffected buses could experience delays. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. Gun owners, listen closely. If your safe can be pried open, tipped over, attacked with basic tools, what you have is actually a filing cabinet, and that is not a safe. Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville, they actually sell real safes, heavy-duty safes, including UL-rated TL and TR models. These are designed to withstand real-world attacks. We're talking tools, torches, and time. These aren't just for firearms. They're ideal for everything. If you're stacking precious metals, they're for you. If you got cash and you don't want it under the mattress, these are for you. If you want to protect the passports, the photo albums, the family heirlooms, the jewelry, this is the place you need to be. Aaron Parker is an Air Force security veteran, former park ranger. It's a Christian, family-run business. Aaron and his sons handle delivery and installations themselves discreetly and professionally, and they deliver all over Middle Tennessee. You can find a detailed review of every safe that they have in stock on their YouTube page. Search for Parker Safes on YouTube. Find the one that's right for you, and then give my guy Aaron a call and say, this is what I need. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. Or you can always hop online, parkersafes.com. It's 11:38. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. As we're wrapping up the show, make sure you keep up with me off the air. You can find me on all the social media platforms that matter: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Truth Social, even my own YouTube page, at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button, hit like, hit subscribe, do all the things, and I'll follow back. Appreciate you guys finding me. And if you got stuff that you're paying attention to, stories that you see out there that you feel like nobody's looking into, send them to me, at Chris Hand on Air. Twitter and Instagram are the big ones. So that's really where I'm cruising most of the time. I don't tick to the talk that often. Truth Social, I'm there for a President Trump post. But if you got a story that you're paying attention to and you want me to talk about it on the show, Twitter or Instagram, at Chris Hand on Air.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't forget Blue Sky. You love being over there for your
I haven't been on there in a while, to be honest with you.
I don't blame you. It's a cesspool of...
So Blue Sky is the Democrat Twitter, right? Is that what that's how you'd explain it?
Yeah.
It's Democrat Twitter. I mean, they ripped off the entire app, and then they just changed it to a butterfly, which is a weird FBI declassified pedo symbol, but, whatever. No, don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. And then it's just Twitter for lefties.
Yeah, basically.
I'll troll occasionally on there.
It's some good stuff. You showed me some of the stuff you posted.
Well, it's like the lower tier liberals. Like, I always go back to Randy Weingarten, who's like the head of the biggest teachers union. Nobody responds to her stuff. So if you want to say something mean to her, like, that's where you need to go.
Donald Trump is violating the law.
Oh, sorry. Adam Schiff is yelling again. Thanks, Adam. We'll get to that.
Yeah, he's bragging about sitting out again. We'll get to it later.
We'll discuss that momentarily. You know what we need to do right now? We need to launch into the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day at this time. Mason uses the time to juice up his Gen Z fro. That's what he does. He's just froing it.
The static helps. Okay?
It looks good. Mason also has a goatee today. He's channeling his evil twin.
We're trying. We're seeing up.
Kid looks sharp. I'm just letting you know.
I don't know about
you might have a chance to see Mason at the Steak of the Union at Legend Steakhouse in Smyrna.
Maybe.
If you get tickets. That's a big if.
We got 5 left?
5 left. 5 tickets left. 997WTN.com. The Steak of the Union is going to be awesome. That's tomorrow night at Legend Steakhouse in Smyrna. And we're going to have a good time. I actually drove by it over the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We were driving a baseball out there in Smyrna. My wife said, "Is that the Legend Steakhouse you're going to be at?" And I said, "I think so."
That's it?
If there's 2 Legend Steakhouses in Smyrna, I'll be at the wrong one. So I said, I'm assuming that's the one. So we want to see you out there, 997WTN.com for tickets. And it's going to be awesome. All right, first story in the lightning round. Absolutely beautiful day yesterday in Los Angeles. I mean, the type of day that you would love to have a parade, right? Like, just, it's 70 degrees, it's sunny, and they're having this big old parade in Los Angeles. It's the LA Golden Dragon Parade.
Okay.
It's for Chinese New Year, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Maybe.
I don't follow the Chinese calendar.
I don't either.
As closely as one should. Was that yesterday? Was that Chinese New Year yesterday? I think it was this weekend. Pretty sure.
I'll take a peek.
So anyway, you got the Golden Dragon Parade. People are just downright giddy, man. I mean, you get to see the best floats. The kids are all lined up. People are throwing candy. Everybody's in a chipper mood. Everybody's having a good time, especially one guy. Because in the float, one of the floats at the LA Golden Dragon Parade was one Mayor Karen Bass. Oh, this is how you take a great parade and make it an unforgettable parade.
Okay.
Because as she's cruising down the road during the LA Golden Dragon Parade at 2 miles per hour, an individual decided to follow her. And he decided to record. And he wanted to let her know how great of a job she's been doing as the mayor. Which is just, it's fantastic. You ready for this?
Lay it on me.
That today is a day that we all contribute and express our support for Chinatown.
Yes, we support China. We don't support Karen Bass.
We want Chinatown to be a pristine.
We want Karen Bass gone.
Location. Happy New Year, the year of the horse.
The year you.
It's gonna bring us.
The year you leave office, Karen.
Absolutely.
Boo! Boo! There you go.
When the parade is over, make sure you patronize.
Make sure you vote
businesses.
against Karen Bass.
Go to a restaurant. Go to a souvenir shop. There's children. Make sure that you spend
Mind your business.
money today.
Mind your business.
Here.
Some lady who's walking next to the float says, "There's children here, sir. There's children." He said, "Mind your business."
Mind your business.
Also, Karen Bass, terrible parade float. Not even throwing candy out for the kids.
Worst.
It's the worst. Like, you trying to win over young voters, or what are you trying to do?
Not throwing candy, just throwing lines.
Everybody knows those kids can vote in California. Everybody knows that. It's the honor system.
Yeah, every kid and their dog can vote. It's,
You literally dogs are voting. You walk into this. She's like, "I don't know. You look a little young." And you're like, "I thought this was the honor system." They're like, "All right, say no more, fam. Here's your sheet." It's like
she's gonna appeal to her voters.
Yeah, it's like,
treats aplenty.
I just love this guy.
It's so dumb.
He just followed them around. He followed them the whole parade route. There's 5 minutes of this.
Really?
Yeah. Because they're creeping. You know what I mean? You don't zoom in a parade. You can't zoom. There's no zooming allowed.
And it's a set track too, so you can't veer off.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's so good. I was like, I immediately looked and said, what parade is Mayor Freddie O'Connell in next?
Oh.
In Chinatown.
You defunded our city, Karen.
The people come here for the World Cup.
You're standing in front of children. Lady, hey, you're standing in front of children. I know you're standing up. Please move out of the way. Thank you.
Destination.
Thank you. Yeah. How's it going, brother?
Chinatown. We do not want our Chinatown in LA to disappear like has happened in so many other cities. Hello.
They want you to disappear, Karen.
Also, what Chinatowns have disappeared? Are Chinatowns disappearing in other cities? Did you hear her?
I did.
Feels like an ice cold take.
Yeah.
Feels like ice cold. Anyway, that guy's a hero. Get him a Medal of Freedom, quick. President Trump invited the USA hockey team to the State of the Union. I think he needs to call up this guy and invite him next.
Yeah, got room for one more?
We do. I got another story for you here in the lightning round. AOC has been having a tough couple days. So we all saw what happened in Munich, where she couldn't answer a question about China and Taiwan. She couldn't even pivot her way out of it. Well, she took to social media over the weekend, hammered drunk, trying to explain herself, which I don't know if that was a good idea.
Yeah. No.
I don't know why she did this, but she did.
If you think that I don't understand foreign policy because out of hours of discourse about international affairs, I pause to think about one of the most sensitive geopolitical issues that currently exist on Earth, I'm afraid the issue is not my understanding, but rather the problem is perhaps you've gotten adjusted to a president that never thinks before he speaks. If you
Yeah, that's what it is. What's with the weird snoring? Is it like
I
one
was
of
gonna
her,
say, is
it's
it
like
like
one
a
of her
pug in the background?
pets or something like that that can't breathe?
I don't know.
She says, "You've gotten so used to the president not thinking before he speaks." I was thinking. It looked hard. Looked hard.
A lot of gears turning there.
Also, like, what's going on with your voice? Like, was she out clubbing till 3 a.m.?
Maybe she's trying to not wake the beast that's sleeping next to her. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. It sounded like 21-year-old Chris after a club night. I was just like, what are you doing? It's embarrassing. It's completely embarrassing. That's AOC. Got another story for here in the lightning round. I don't know. Do you like AOC drunk or sober? Which version of AOC is better?
I don't know. When she was sober, she was talking less on the floor. So like,
it's a good point.
Just saying.
It's a good point. We hear from her less when she's sober. All right, got another story for you here in the lightning round. I've heard Joe Jones talking about this. I think I heard Ken Weaver talking about this as well. Vanderbilt University Medical Center has made a decision. It's a big one. This is one of the ones that we've been fighting for, and it's fantastic. Gender-affirming plastic surgeries for adults? No more. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Sorry. I know that you were looking forward to an open wound that your body would try to heal for the rest of your natural life, that you would have to keep open. Imagine the smell every day for the rest of your existence. But Vanderbilt has now realized the error in their ways, and they're not going to be doing that.
Good job.
Thank you. VUMC, which is in the process of contacting impacted patients. What impacts them more? Cutting off this health care or doing the health care? I think it would be the latter. But they let out a statement on Saturday. Due to operational limitations and lack of surgical coverage, Vanderbilt Health will cease providing gender-affirming plastic surgeries for adults. Vanderbilt Health continues to provide non-surgical gender-affirming care for adults 19 years and older. This is a huge, huge step. And I imagine that we're going to see this replicated across the country. It is becoming less and less profitable for them to mutilate the bodies of these individuals. And I'm sorry, there's no other medical procedure where removing a perfectly healthy part of your body is an okay outcome. It just doesn't exist. Nobody ever walks in and says, I want to be a pirate. And they say, let's take off that hand. Let's give you a hook. It doesn't happen. It doesn't. Find me where it happens. It doesn't. So this is good too.
Massive.
We thank them for it. Got another story right here in the lightning round. Sorry, I just wanted to hear the lightning. It was nice.
It was good.
Is it snowing yet, by the way?
No. I'm not seeing anything.
Apple weather's lying to me again.
Yeah. I think when we hear snow, I think it's flurries. Melted ice that'll hit your windshield.
Not a fan. Speaking of which, remember when they told us that there were no co-conspirators in the Epstein files? Do you remember that part?
Mm-hmm.
They said the case is closed. There's nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. You remember that part, right?
Yeah, pretty prominent.
Well, now the UK has arrested another elite member of society.
Dun, dun, dun.
So good, Jones. So good. Former UK ambassador to the U.S., Peter Mandelson. Lord Mandelson. Lord Mandelson. Yes. Lord Mandelson has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct while in public office. This follows search warrants at 2 addresses at the Wiltshire and Camden areas. What does DJ Khaled say all the time? Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
We got him.
Got him.
So that co-conspiratorless, victimless crime, they were just arresting people in the UK.
We can now confirm that the Metropolitan Police are saying that Peter Mandelson has been arrested.
Lord Mandelson. He's been arrested.
Good.
Can we start arresting some people here in America?
That's what I'm thinking, man.
Like, what are we doing?
What is going on?
Lord Mandelson has been arrested. The brother of the king has been arrested. And we're just still waiting for Pam Bondi to do her job. I feel like that meme with the kid with the stick, and he's like poking it. He's like, do something.
Do something.
I feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel like that too?
Oh, absolutely. It's just frustrating when you see the people who are taking away everybody else's rights actually doing the right thing for once overseas there. And we're sitting here not doing a darn thing.
Yep. It's true. It's true. All right. That does it for the lightning round. Also, I'm getting corrected on the text line when it came to pirate surgeries. Josh said it also requires the removal of a leg and an eye. And 5265 said, now you're just being a pirate phobe. I would like to apologize for any pirates in the audience that I may or may not have offended in today's lightning round.
11:57, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Chad Benson's in studio. You were up at the crack of dawn to watch the hockey game.
Yes, I was.
So I asked him if the Kash Patel celebration was as cringy as it seemed on the internet.
Very cringy.
Very cringe.
Extra cringe. Extra cringe.
I think the worst part wasn't that it was cringy and celebrating. The worst part was the tweet when he was trying to justify the cringe.
Yeah, it was extra cringy, and then he's like, well, I love hockey. He does love hockey. In fairness, he plays rec hockey when he can. But the reality is it was extra cringy, him in there. It was just like he was celebrating. No, go. You shouldn't be in this. This is not for you. I mean, it is. And you put yourself in something. It was cringe. It was cringeworthy.
It was very cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just sat there and I thought, oh, God, really? Like, come on, dude. And then, like you say, trying to justify it. And then they came out and said, well, he's had this trip planned for months and all that kind of stuff.
I don't even care that he was there. I don't care that he was celebrating with them or any of that. Like, yeah, it looked cringy, but you made it worse by trying to tweet about how it's not as cringy as it seemed.
Yeah. It's like you're trying to defend your cringe.
And I think that the FBI director should be allowed to have time off. Like, I'm not even saying, like, get back to work, go arrest people. But I'm just like, it was cringy.
Yeah, it was cringy. Just accept the cringe and move on.
There are things that I do that are cringy all the time.
That's what we do.
You got to lean into it. You got to embrace the cringe.
And just go, and then, you're right. That was awful. It's like sometimes you wear stuff in life, you look back and like, that was horrible.
Yeah, you're like, but I would do it again.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at my Jenko jeans. 100% would wear those again.
Not today, though.
I might. Wait until you see my outfit for the State of the Union tomorrow.
Oh,
it's going to be a suit coat and Jenko jeans.
That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
Be so, I would like that. That'd be tight, dog. Get your drip, man. Get your drip on.
It would be a lot of Riz. The kids,
yeah.
The kids would say,
your aura would be real tight.
The aura would be on fleek. State of the Union tomorrow night. You know what we're down to? We're down to 6 tickets,
6 tickets.
6. 997WTN.com.
That's it. 6 tickets.
I did as much as I could to get it across the finish line.
It'll be done by today.
I think so.
By the time I get off and Matt gets off the air, it'll all be gone.
100%. So if you've been waiting, now's your time.
This is it.
Otherwise, you won't be able to celebrate with us.
You won't see the Jenko jeans.
Kash Patel did with the Team USA hockey. That's going to be me. I'm going to channel Kash Patel tomorrow night.
Are you?
And I'm going to celebrate everything.
You're going to be the guy that walks in like, awkward.
I don't know.
Who doesn't understand their awkwardness?
Maybe. What are you talking about today?
Talk a little Mexico. Talk a little bit about the hockey. Talk a little bit about Iran. They just made another arrest in the whole Epstein thing.
Lord Mandelson. I said to Mason a second ago, I feel like the meme with the kid with the stick, and it's like, come on, do something.
Yeah.
I'm just like poking Pam Bondi.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
No, but instead they are.
Come on.
The Brits are going to do as much as they can because apparently we have no reason to anymore.
Case is closed.
There you go. Solved it. Solved the problem. Yet another. No wonder he can go be cringy. He solves all these crimes.
Chad's in next. It's 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.